All right, everyone. Well, welcome to today's session called Season's eGreetings. This is the latest in our series of virtual tech talks that we're doing today. As a reminder, your cameras and microphones are muted. Any questions that come up in today's session, feel free to throw into the chat box and we will get to them as soon as possible. All right, so just a quick introduction. I see some familiar names, but my name's Casey. I'm the digital literacy librarian for Martin County. This is a super fun topic that we've never really talked about before, at least not for a few years. And so I'm excited to be joined with my colleague, Andrea, to talk about it today. And Andrea, if you want to just say hi.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrea Saraguepualuan and I am a library specialist at the Cummings Library in Palm City.
Yes. Very creative person, and we're happy to have her here joining us, a new face for these virtual tech talks. So what we're covering today, we're going to talk about the range of options for digital greeting cards, the modern range. It could be everything from a text or a Facebook post greeting card to the printed and mailed kind that we've done traditionally in the past. We're going to try to encourage you to think about what's best for you based on your skill set, how much time you want to put into this, and how much interest you have. So start thinking about that. And then just as a reminder, we are talking about this in the context of holiday greeting cards or seasonal cards. But all of the options that we're presenting you today are year-round options. So birthday cards, other holidays that you may wish to celebrate by sending a greeting, all of those things apply for today. And that's what we're going to cover today. But before we do that, just to get a sense of who's on the line and really what to spend more or less time on, we have a quick quiz. Here's where I'm going to ask you to type your answers into the chat. Question number 1, how much time do you want to spend creating your cards this year? Are you A, none, I just want to buy them like I usually do at Target? Are you B, I'm okay with populating a template to personalize or customize? Or are you more of a C, I'd like to design the entire card beginning to end? So let us know, are you A, B, or C in this regard? And there's no wrong answer.
It looks like we have quite a few C's.
Quite a few C's.
Yeah. Oh, we have an A.
Great. And we've got 3 questions. So these are all just going to be kind of the same type of thing. So, all right. So good to know. So we have a lot of people who really are graphically oriented and like to design, a lot of control. And so I think you're going to be excited about what we talk about today. Question number 2, how would you like to deliver your cards? A, I've always mailed holiday cards and even 2020 won't stop me. Are you more of a B, wait, I can email cards, sign me up? Are you C, texting is my fave? Or are you D, a Facebook post works for me?
Oh, that's a mixed bag. We got some B's, some C's, an A.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, great. So this is actually how we've kind of broken up our session today. So you can kind of know when to focus in and when to be more specific, or when you can kind of take a mental break in today's session. So great. All right. And finally, we will do question number 3. Describe your style of holiday cheer. Are you A, you've been listening to holiday music on repeat since November 1st? B, my love language is sarcasm. It's the gift that keeps on giving. C, holidays are stressful. They're great, but I can't wait for it to be over. Or are you D, I'm festive, but don't usually go overboard?
Also another mixed bag. We've got some D, an A, a B. I'm somewhere between A and B. Depends on the day.
I'm more of a D myself. Yes. Okay. Although I did tell someone I don't decorate for Christmas and they were shocked. And so maybe I'm more of C. Maybe I'm somewhere between C and D. Okay, well, thank you for your responses. That's great. And good to know just who we have on the line. We have a mixed bag, so we'll probably just kind of do everything kind of equally, but there is something for everyone. No matter what you responded to all of those questions, we have options for you today. We're gonna start with a 100% digital option and then gradually move our way to more mixed and then mailed delivery too. So 100% digital means digital e-cards with email delivery. No paper, it's the digital version of buying cards from Target and having them emailed. Then we're going to move towards if you wanted to have a little bit more control over designing your own cards digitally and then emailing them that way. We're going to touch on an option to let you design your own digital cards with a text delivery. And then we'll finish up with spending a little bit more time with the design your own cards digitally, but then have them printed and mailed for you. So a few different options there to keep in mind. And again, questions, you can throw them into the chat now that we're all comfortable putting things in the chat box. So with that being said, we will get started. And Andrea, now I'm gonna pass it to you.
Hey everyone. All right. So give me just a moment to get over to the sharing my screen. All right. So digital e-cards with an email delivery. My first choice is Jackie Lawson cards. She came very highly recommended to me by our own branch manager, who has been receiving cards from a friend through Jackie Lawson for a while and absolutely loves the cards. They are genuinely beautiful cards. With the Jackie Lawson cards, there is no digital design necessary. You don't have to do anything else than type in a quick little message and hit send. After you store all your contacts, you can populate them from your already stored contacts. There is an annual subscription necessary, and it is $20 a year, but it gives you access to all the cards year-round, and there is no limit. And they have a lot of fun little interactive options. All of the cards are animated, and they're beautifully like hand-painted. So I'm going to go ahead and take you guys over to the website so you can see what it looks like. All right, this is Jackie Lawson's website. Can you see it okay?
Yes, great.
Awesome. So my favorite one from the selection also happens to be the newest one featured, which is the Noel Nouveau. So we're going to pick that one to use. And while you do have to have a subscription to customize and send the card, you can preview it. So I'll go ahead and do that with you. As you can see, they really are these just gorgeous cards. Now, some of the more interactive ones offer little games, so they're perfect for nieces or nephews or grandkids. They have spot the difference ones, and they have ones where you can like find the hidden items in the picture, which are a lot of fun. There's another one that has these really cute little snow dogs. Beautiful things. What I found really good about this website is that you can customize birth dates when you add in all of your contacts. You can copy and paste your email list in there. You can upload from your contact list on your phone, and you can put all those people's special dates, anniversaries, birthdays, and schedule cards in advance so that you never have to miss a special date. All right. Next, we're going to go over another more digital e-cards with email delivery. And these are going to be a lot more simple than using Jackie Lawson. The first one is 123 Greetings. I chose it because it is absolutely free. It offers animated video-based greeting cards that are a little more like something you'd see shared on Facebook, kind of, instead of Jackie Lawson's perfectly polished, but they're super cute and, again, super free. They also have an app available, which makes the uploading your contacts super easy. And then the same for some e-cards. These are great to share online, especially if you have that sarcasm as your love language. They're free, simple graphics paired with vintage images that have these quirky little phrases. And yeah, they're super snarky, and they're just fun if you're looking for something with a bit more of an adult theme. Next, we have DIY digital cards with email delivery. Paperless Post is my top choice. It is a great user-friendly app. It's very simple, incredibly easy to customize. You can choose everything from the digital card, the lining, all of it. They have free options. They also have upgraded premium options. And the premium option offers a buy in bulk coin type system, and then each of the upgrades that you do, depending on how many you send out, are 1 to 2 coins each. It's very easy to upload all of your contacts using your mobile phone. My favorite thing about Paperless Post is the ability to RSVP and to track all of your RSVPs. So even if you're not doing an in-home holiday party, if you're doing a Zoom holiday party, if you want to get all of the family together at the same time on Zoom, it's a perfect way to make sure that everybody got their invites and everybody RSVPs, so you know who's going to be there. They're also very elegant. They look a lot like professionally made invites and photographs, but digital. The next one is Greeting Island. These are very modern. They look like the cards that you'd buy at Target, but you can customize them. You can add photos. There's also a few other customizable options to give it your own flair. They do have a decent selection of free options and some premium paid. You can email them, you can print them straight from your browser onto your printer, and you can post them onto Facebook. The next one is probably my favorite. It is a family tradition of mine. My parents, especially my dad, always send out a jib jab every Christmas, and they are ridiculous, and I'm here for them. They're amazing. So I'm going to show you one of those and how to make and customize that for you. All right, this is the Jib Jab landing page. They have all of the current holiday cards and their recommended ones right there on the main page. So I'm going to go back to the first one because I fell in love with this one. It's just so much fun, and it's very easy to make. Each of them casts a certain amount of people, so you take your own photos or photos of your loved ones and put them in to these pre-made videos that you can then send to your family, upload them on Facebook, and share them through email or text message. So to add a picture, you just click on Add Face, and you can browse your own photos, or you can upload from Facebook, or you can choose to take a photo with your camera. Casey was a really good sport and let me use her picture too. And as you can see, it automatically cuts out the face and gives you everything you need. Love it, great, hit yes.
I mean, I don't know about love it, but
I'm loving it. So that's what matters, right? All right. And then you just hit next once you have your picture selected. And this will only give us a short preview of what the video will look like because they do require you to have a subscription in order to see the rest. I probably shouldn't be quite as amused by those as I am, but I love them.
we did have a couple questions in the chat.
Okay.
If you can take a couple questions. there's one really great question. Can you pick one card and send it to multiple recipients at the same time?
Yes.
And that question came through when you were talking about, I think, Paperless Post and Greetings Island.
So I'll go ahead because I'm looking at the questions now, and I'll address that one, and then I'll address the other ones. But yes, you can absolutely send the same card to multiple people, especially with like the Paperless Post. You can upload your entire contact list, hundreds of people all at once. I used it for my wedding invites to track my 70 plus guests and make sure that everybody RSVP'd. Most of the websites will allow you to send the cards to multiple people, either by selecting them from the already pre-uploaded contacts that you've already put in, or by going ahead and separating them by a comma or adding them in one by one, depending on which website you're using. I haven't noticed any spam. That's the question to COL. I haven't noticed any issues with spam at all. There is one of the sites that had kind of an annoying ads that would pop up, but no spam.
And the reason I love that question so much is, yeah, because you'll notice we even mention in our slides, like sometimes the pop-up advertising is a bit intrusive. The cost you pay sometimes for free, like Greetings Island, I think we had some free, and the advertising's annoying, but it's just how they keep the lights on. Good question.
All right. Are there any more questions before I continue?
I don't see any more in the chat box at the moment.
Okay. So the next one is going to be DIY digital cards with a text delivery. And if that's not the most convenient thing in the world, I don't know what is. So I chose Punchbowl for this option because of the ability to just text out that greeting card. And once you text it, it sends them a link. The link, they click it, and it opens up right in their phone browser and allows them to see the card opening up. And it's really pretty. So they look a lot like a digital version of the card opening, and then pulling it out like you would from an envelope if you were to mail it, but text messages. They have some, like, again, they're more classic looking cards. They're not necessarily the animated beauties of Jackie Lawson, but they're super simple. And you can include gift cards as well. So if you're sending cards out to your grandkids or your sister-in-law or whoever you're sending your cards to, you can add in a gift card to let them know that you're really thinking about them that holiday, even if you can't be with them. They're super easy to customize. You can customize the front cover, the inside, and the envelope, and add a personal video message as well. They're relatively affordable. They're $2.99 a month, and you can, again, monthly or continue with an annual subscription. Importing your contacts is also very easy. They allow you to paste your email list or save contacts for the next time. All right, back to you, Casey. You're up next.
Okay, thanks. And I just realized too, with that texting the gift card, it's really a good option for last minute presents if you've forgotten someone's. A friend of mine, I forgot today was her birthday, and I might actually text her a gift card using Punchbowl. So, thanks for the reminder. Okay, so let me try to share my screen again. And tell me, can you see my slides now? The presentation mode?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, thank you. All right, so. Okay, so finally, we're going to talk about DIY printed cards to mail. And these are going to be cards that give you either as much or as little control as you want. But these are going to be the ones that you can have printed and then sent to friends and family member for the holidays. The first one we're going to talk about, the main one we're going to talk about, and I'll actually do a demo of Shutterfly. But Shutterfly is one of those companies that's been around for quite a while, one of the original, or I'll say early operators in this field. They have these great templates that you can customize. If you want a more traditional look or a modern look, you'll see this card For example, they've got usually really relevant content. So 2020, you know, this card will have to do, this will have to do. It just kind of encapsulates our year this year. You can upload photos directly from your phone. So if you have selfies or family pictures, you know, we always have those phones with us, which is great for capturing those moments that we might not otherwise capture, and then sharing those moments with our friends and family during the holidays. The great thing about Shutterfly, the option that they provide, is that they will print addresses and mail them also. So you don't even have to see these or touch these, but you can do everything online digitally. There are some caveats that I found kind of playing around with that, but as you kind of get your hands into something like Shutterfly, you'll see, you can decide if you want them to mail you the cards and then you hand address and hand stamp them, or you can upload your contacts and have Shutterfly do everything from there, of course, for a cost. The other thing about Shutterfly, I have some power users that I'm friends with and I have in my family, and they love Shutterfly because they can design like photo albums. My mom usually makes a family calendar every year, mugs. You can even do custom puzzles with your own photos and photographs. So just something to keep in mind if you really like that full service, full scale option. I have on here that advertising can feel a bit intrusive, which is again why I loved that question. That was very insightful. I will say, since I've been fiddling around with Shutterfly for my work, with my work email right now, I've noticed at the very beginning when you first sign up for Shutterfly, it automatically sends you emails every few hours. So I had forgotten I had unsubscribed when I made my account years ago. So just again, something to keep in mind. And if that's a deal breaker for you, just to kind of go into with that knowledge. The other like insider tip with Shutterfly is that it is expensive, but the joke is that there's always some kind of sale or discount. And so a lot of power users for services like Shutterfly and a couple of the other ones that we'll talk about, those power users usually design everything just ahead of time. And then whenever there's a sale, which is like every other day, it seems like, whenever there's a sale, they're just know to then actually do the ordering then. So that's the nice thing. You can kind of have several projects going on at one time and then wait to actually order it. The tone is really going to vary. There's just a wide variety of options. And so you can have professional, you can have modern, you can have cute, classy, snarky, kind of everything we've covered already. Shutterfly has a lot of those options. And so with that being said, let me go ahead and give you guys a demo. Let me do a new share and I will share my browser, or try to. Okay, Andrea, what can you see now?
It looks good. We can see your browser.
You can see my browser? Okay. It's telling me screen sharing. Oh, there we go. And how about now?
One thing about Shutterfly, as a professional photographer, I used to use Shutterfly to make all of those cards that your friends and family send out for Christmas because it's so easy to populate and it comes out so professionally.
Great. And that's another reason why Andrea's perspective is great, because she has that design and graphic background. Photography. Can you still see my browser?
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay, great. Like we talked about, there's that 50% off of almost everything right here. That's going to be where you will find your Shutterfly sales. I just went to shutterfly.com. You can Google Shutterfly. There is also a Shutterfly app that you can work on if you're kind of on the go, sitting in a doctor's office, getting your hair done, and have a little extra time. You can do that too. We're talking about holiday cards today, so I'm going to shop holiday cards. But you know what? I actually did create an account. So first let me shop holiday cards first before I sign in. So when I click shop holiday cards, it's going to bring me to all of these many, 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 many holiday cards. And does it tell you how much there are? And see these little, I'm going to try to close out these little ads because I just do it by default now and I don't even realize what I'm doing. But you'll see this nice variety of different options based on what you're looking for, how many pictures you want to display. Most of these cards have a front and a back, and so you'll have a few options there. I'm going to go ahead and over on the left-hand side, I'm just going to filter by holiday cards just to keep it quite general. But you can see you can filter by Christmas, religious, New Year, and that's just one section, obviously. Here, where Andrew and I discovered this option, which is super fun to use, to help you visualize what it actually looks like, they have the option to let you upload your own pictures, even in this preview mode. So I just clicked on the upload button. I have these generic pictures that I found on pexels.com, which offer royalty-free images online. And I'm going to upload it just like I would upload a picture to Facebook. And now when I upload this cute little family picture, I've now got an idea about what that family picture would look like on all of these design options. So once you do that, you can just kind of scroll. Oh, this one's kind of sweet. All right, happy holidays. So once you find one you like, you'll just select it. Okay, and obviously the picture isn't in that yet. You'll first need to personalize. So this orange button that says personalize. You'll notice the price will vary depending on how many cards you get, of course, for the quantity, but also there's bulk discounts. So if I want 10 cards, because I don't send cards to that many people, to be honest, it would be $1.65 each. But if I wanted to send 100 cards, it would be $1.53. And there'll be different add-on features that I'll just point out as we go along. You'll notice foil colors, which is going to be the text can be done in like a metallic looking option. Different trim, if you want these rounded quarters, it's going to be, it looks like an extra 18 cents. Sorry, I can't see that tiny. But if I want square corners, it'll be a little bit cheaper. We'll stick with the rounded trim for now.
While you're on this page, we do have a question about the quality of the paper that Shutterfly prints cards on.
Oh, perfect timing. Yeah. I'm glad you stopped me because there is this paper option. And to be honest, there's only 2 options here. Sometimes I've seen up to 4 or maybe 5 options, but this will give you a little bit of detail. Can you guys see that? Or maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. Oh, you know what? I was zoomed out. I'm sorry. There you go. So that it kind of gives you a description of the quality of the paper. And if you do, this is not the best example because it's only giving these 2, but there are different qualities that you can pay a little bit extra for each card, just like the foil or the trim. If you want a higher quality card, you'll pay an upcharge for that. Did that answer the question?
I think so.
Okay, great. Good question. Okay. And then as we go a little bit further along the process, they will offer the options for envelopes and addressing them. They also offer a design review. So like having someone from Shutterfly review it, make sure there's no typos or that the quality of the photo is a high enough resolution that it will look good once it's printed. So those options will be involved as well. I'm going to click personalize because again, I'm going to do this demonstration just to show you how easy this can be done. I'm going to use my last name, Hudson. I kind of had fiddled around with this with other names. So just to do this, or you could skip this part, but this is just to help you fill it in. You'll see my last name, the Hudson family is in there now. And up at the top, we've got 3 steps. We've got card, then the envelope, and then the addressing. And in the card, I've got the front of the card and then the back of my card. Okay, so we'll do one at a time. We'll stick with the front for now, and I've got my layout options on the left-hand side. If you wanted to add more pictures, in fact, let me go ahead and do that. I went through this pretty quickly before, so I'll just take my time right now and I clicked the upload button before, which means my pictures are on my computer. Or you can store your pictures in Shutterfly or import them from places like Facebook or Instagram, or this little icon is the Google Photos icon. But for today, I'm just gonna click upload again, and I have them stored on my computer. I'm gonna select the 3 pictures that I'm thinking I want to add to the back of my card, and then click open, and it will import those pictures and then also add them to this little project here.
We have another question.
Okay, great.
If you don't use the design review, do you have an option to do a photo edit on the website? And will they notify you if pixels are too small in the picture if you don't sign up for the design review?
Yes, great questions, both of them. The second question, they will kind of give you a little error message if your picture is not the highest resolution. You can choose to ignore that, but they will give you an error message that says like, hey, a little red flag, I should say, rather than an error message. And then the first question was, do you have an option to do a photo edit on the website? Very limited. That's a really good question, because with sites like this, it's an important step of the process to have a nice picture, like have your picture how you want it, because as you'll see, actually, let me go back to the front of the card and I can actually show you. It says click to edit. So the only real editing options, I was going to show you this on the back, but we might as well just do it with this picture. The only real editing options, if my computer loads, are going to be just your basic filters. There's an auto enhance button that you can turn on or off. And I don't know if you can see the difference. It's a slight difference. But I was playing around with it and I didn't like it in another picture I was using. So me personally, I would probably edit it in a different app first or a different program. Make sure I had a picture I was really happy with the quality and the editing, the post-processing. But if that sounds like too much work for you, there are a few options in here. It doesn't look like my picture is completely loading, but these are rotate buttons, 90 degrees. I'm gonna go back. And then of course you can drag it. I'm gonna keep it that full edge because I think that's cute. But the filters are gonna be your sepia, your black and white, a little bit of a softer focus, or higher saturation. And then you can adjust this on a sliding scale.
Oh, that really pops.
Yeah, the saturation. But for today, I'm just gonna keep it as original and then click done. You can edit your text here too. If you decide you really don't like something, you can change the font, or you can just stick with the default, whatever you're comfortable doing. I'm going to show you the back just because you've got a little bit more options or control over the back. The front we pick at that beginning step, that first step when we were looking at all of our options, but the back layouts are going to be, you'll have these options no matter which front you pick. So if you just want to be done, and this is what I do, there's no judgment. I just need to get these out and to like my 10 family members who expect this. And so this is what I do. I have a nice picture on the front and then nothing on the back. I might write a little hand note on the back just to say hi. Maybe you have a bigger life update though, and you want to type in more text. It goes to different people, or more people, I'll say. So you've got options for text only. If you'd prefer columns, you can do that. If you want another family picture and then type text below that, you can do. So you'll see here the indicator, the gray box is going to be where a picture would go, and then the gray horizontal lines is going to be indicating text. So just depending on your family, you know, any travels, I'm always at that point where I can't decide, which picture do I get rid of if I can only share 2. But here there's layouts for up to, oh gosh, I should have looked at this. So 5, 6, 7. Oh boy. So if I had 15 pictures and wanted to do a 15 picture grid on the back side of this card, I could do that. I just picked a little example with 3 to show you. This one I think I liked. And then to upload, you can either drag and drop your pictures from this bottom tray from your project. Again, to get pictures there, we'll first add photos. But then you can drag and drop or click to upload directly there too. But again, I like to have all my pictures done ahead of time so I have more control over that quality. And then you'll type in, "This was the best day ever." Just to show you, you've got a little control over font. Let me see if I can get an error message actually. Okay, there's a good example. So if I tried to get my font too big, it'll tell me text does not fit, please resize. It looks like it fits to me, but I trust the platform. And so I might choose to make it a little bit smaller. You've got your alignment options if you want a left align or justified, a right justified, a vertical alignment, center that. If you want it vertically centered, you can change the font itself. Okay. You can change the color. So just depending on how much you want, how involved you want to be in the process, we've got options there. Okay, so we did the front and we did the back. I'm going to click next. Oh, there is this preview option too if you wanted to see that kind of in fuller screen. All right, so I'll just go next and next to envelope. Shutterfly offers, and again, this might be a fairly basic example. So if you are playing around in Shutterfly and find yourself with a few more options, this is probably a really simple example, but you can choose to do the outside of the envelope. Oops, sorry, I wasn't in edit mode. Again, the fancier options might have a bit of an upcharge. It will tell you in the upper left corner. So right now this is going to be $1.77 per card. But if I click on a different color envelope, it might change the price, and it will just give you a little alert to let you know. There's also an option, oh, and it does tell you, this is what I found out the hard way, addressing available only on white envelopes too. So if you don't want to handwrite, if you want Shutterfly to do the, to upload your contacts and to have Shutterfly print the contacts for you, you'll need to choose the white envelope for this. And it'll say down here at the bottom, printed, addressing, available, addressing. Sorry about that. There's also the option to have a liner. And again, it's going to be an upcharge, but you know, there's some really elegant looking options here depending on what you're looking for. Solid patterns. They'll have some recommended options for you. And there's more if you click more designs. It feels like infinite possibilities, but just something to be aware of. And then finally, the last part is going to be the addressing. The addressing part. So you've got blank envelopes. If you want Shutterfly to address your envelopes for you, you'll select that. You will need to sign in. But just as a heads up, you can import your contacts from your phone. You can download a template from them, which in a spreadsheet format, and then add your contacts in that spreadsheet format. You can do only your return address and then hand write who you're sending it to for a different option as well. And then this third option is mail cards for me. And you'll see as I hover my mouse over this envelope at the bottom left here, it's not an option for cards with liner. It's probably because they're a little bit heavier. And so their shipping fees, their $1 per per envelope doesn't include that liner weight as well. So just things to keep in mind as you're designing your card and fiddling with Shutterfly. With that being said, once you're ready to go, you can just add it to your cart. Oh, great. This is the part that I left 2 of the text boxes empty under the back on the back side of the card. I can either choose to ignore it, fix it, or preview it. And when I preview it, I'm either going to have to ignore it or fix it before it adds it to my cart. So that is just a follow-up on that question about the review process. I'll ignore for now. And here it's going to ask you to sign in. So once you sign in, it'll add it to your cart. If you've ever bought anything online, it's a very similar process there. I'll say the hardest part is adding the contacts, adding your contacts, but they give you 4 or 5 different options for methods of adding your contacts. And so it's just a matter of selecting which one you'd rather do. Importing your contacts or downloading your the template that they've provided. With that being said, are there any questions from the demo of Shutterfly? Let's see if I can go back.
Not seeing anything in the chat yet.
Okay, those were really good questions and perfect timing as we were going along. Let me see if I can flip back over. New share. And are you viewing my screen now, the Shutterfly slide?
Yes, it's in
Okay.
edit mode.
Oh, it is?
Yes, so we have a question.
Yes,
Where
great.
on the Shutterfly site do they have the option to add your contacts?
Oh, well, there's a few different ways. Let me start share again. That I didn't sign in, but I believe there is actually a way to do it without signing in, or at the beginning of the process rather than the end of the process like I just showed you. So let me go ahead and save. Okay. And then I'll sign in with my work account that I have been fiddling with this week, if I can remember my password. All right, so it's logging in. Let's see. So I'm going to go under my account. So it says, now it says, instead of saying sign in, it says, hi, Casey. So I'm going to click on that little icon and then go to my address book. And when I go to my address book, I had added myself, my work, or the Blake Library address as a contact. If I want to add a new contact manually, I can click that new contact button, or let me go ahead and show you this import option. Yes, okay, great. So these are the same options I got if I had been signed in at the very end, it would have been the same option. This is that template that I was talking about. It's called a CSV spreadsheet. It's going to open in like an Excel program, Excel type program. So you can download that template. Let me see if I can show you that. Andrea, I'm going to need you to tell me if you can see my screen.
Yep, you're good to go.
Can you see the Excel spreadsheet?
No, you're only sharing your browser.
How about now?
Still just the browser.
Oh boy. I'm going to have to share my whole desktop. Share. And now can you see the Excel?
Yes.
Okay, so this is downloading the template. If I wanted to copy paste my friends and family into this template, I could do that and just make sure that way I kind of know what I'm getting, and I'm not having Shutterfly pull in all of my contacts. For me personally, this is what I use this is what I used because like I said, I don't have that many. And so it was just easy enough for me to kind of fill out this template and then import it into Shutterfly. Once you, let me share again, share my browser again. Once I completed that spreadsheet, I imported using this orange import button. So you can add it one by one using the new contact, or you can import using that spreadsheet, or you'll see on the left-hand side here, there's also an option for Outlook. We use Outlook at work, but I don't use that at home for my personal email or calendar. But just if you do have that option, if you do use Outlook, you have that option as well too. So essentially 3 different ways: Outlook, the template that they provide in that Excel format, or manually adding one by one. Good question. Okay, so let me go ahead and go back to our PowerPoint then. And okay, can you see the PowerPoint in presentation mode?
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay, great. So that's Shutterfly. And then just to kind of wrap up with a couple other options besides Shutterfly, but again, very similar. Snapfish is another one that was also one of the original or early players, in the space. Shutterfly did acquire Snapfish. I can't remember exactly when, but it's been quite a few years. They have very similar options and very similar features, even more templates, options to upload pictures from your phone. So just things to keep in mind too. And then finally, it wouldn't be a class about online shopping if we didn't mention Amazon. Amazon also has a feature, and some of you, I know, because I've spoken with some of you about this individually at previous classes, but Amazon Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, they have unlimited photo storage option. And so a lot of people were using Amazon Prime as a photo backup service. It's kind of like a cloud storage backup for all their pictures. If all of your pictures are already in Amazon, then it might be a really convenient option. I know I've used Amazon before, and I have family members that use Amazon just to quickly put it together. They already have an account with Amazon, so it's not creating another account. They also have plenty of options for layouts and themes and fonts. It's a bit more limited than what we just saw with Shutterfly or what Snapfish would also have. But again, if you don't want a lot of control and you don't want to have to create another account for something, get more emails or unsubscribe for more emails, then Amazon Prints is going to be an option as well. Any questions about the last one that they, the DIY, let me go back, the DIY printed cards to mail. Turn my video back on. Okay, well, just to wrap up, thanks everyone for coming. Just to wrap up about what we covered, we talked about the different delivery methods. So email, text, we might have briefly mentioned posting to social media, but a lot of those graphics that Andrea covered, you can just save those and upload them and post them to Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media platform you like to use. And then print as well. So that more professional looking printed and delivery method. We saw a few different demonstrations for Jib Jab. Andrea showed us. She showed us Jackie Lawson. And then we finished up with that Shutterfly demo. Was there a question?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
You print them yourself was the question.
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't believe so with the Shutterfly, Snapfish, and Amazon prints. But now I'm wondering if one of the other options, like the digital greeting cards.
There was one that I mentioned that does have the option to print them yourself.
Yes. Which one was that? That's a really good question.
The Greetings Island.
Greetings Island. Okay, so Greetings Island is the one that you can design your own and then print it if you want to and mail or deliver. Maybe you see your coworkers or people at your card game, or I know we're not really seeing a lot of people these days, but that is an option too.
We have one more question.
Okay.
Do we have a template recommendation for letters to email? And if I may, I'll go ahead and answer that one.
Please, because I do not.
I do not have a recommendation, but what I can suggest is if you're using any of the Microsoft Office, be it Word, PowerPoint, there are quite a few options when you go to create a new document that allows you to search through the templates, and you can put in something like holiday card or greeting card or Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or whatever it is that you're looking for, and they have quite a few templates available. Now, if you're going a little more on the high end, Photoshop and InDesign also offer template options when creating a new document as well.
And since that's actually a great segue, and we can keep going with questions too if people have them, but since Andrea mentioned it, she designed this beautiful greeting card with PowerPoint, this one right here. And I don't know how she did it, but like she just said, you go into the template, file template, or file new. Is that how you did it?
On this one, it was using a picture from Pixabay, which is very similar to Pexels. It allows you to download free right usage images that are not copywritten, so you can use them commercially or personally or in your art. And then I created a little spinning PowerPoint presentation that just kind of spun those letters in there and make them all cute and animated.
Yes, wonderful. I did see a question in the chat just on that same topic. They don't have Microsoft. What about Apple? I don't know about Keynote, the Apple version.
Microsoft Office is available on Apple computers as well, and it is sort of the base standard. I'm not entirely familiar with any of the other softwares, but if you have a specific question, feel free to email us and we can look into something for you and find you something that'll work.
Yeah, in fact, I might even research that and see if we can email it when we send out next week the slides and the link. That's a good one to kind of look into and just make a recommendation.
For the texting, yes, it is a link that then opens up in Safari or whatever browser they're using on their phone or their smartphone device. It allows them to open up the card that way. And we have a request for a standalone webinar on how to work with templates.
Oh, with templates for more like greeting cards or just templates in PowerPoint?
Or in Microsoft Word.
Microsoft, yeah. And just so everyone knows, you have my contact information when I emailed you yesterday, and then I also copied Andrea on the link as well. And so her email address is on there. So feel free to reach out. I skipped over this slide because I just had to brag on that cute little PowerPoint greeting card. But we are we have a few options usually at the library pre-COVID, pre-pandemic for getting one-on-one assistance. We've paused that since we have been limiting kind of our in-person interaction, but we are hoping to resume that service very slowly in January. Of course, to come into the library, masks are required, but we've been working with a couple patrons and volunteers and staff. We've got plexiglass dividers that we're putting between people. We've got TV screens that we're hooking up devices to and then using a pointer so that we can stand 6 feet away. So depending on what branch you visit or what question you have, we might get a little creative with trying to help you. But do keep an eye out for that service to gradually resume starting in January of 2021. So that's usually we can say, sign up for a tech appointment and we'll answer all these questions that you might have, like follow-up questions, but we're getting closer to that point where we can do that again.
So the question was, yes, webinar on templates for PowerPoint or Microsoft Word.
Great. And I will make note. We've been trying to do these virtual tech talks every other Friday afternoon or 2 Fridays a month. We're taking a break for the holiday season, so only one this month. But we'll start again in January, on January 8th. If you haven't signed up, okay, registration hasn't opened yet, but January 8th will be our next class, and it is going to be on cord cutting. And those of you that have worked with, that know my colleague Ricky, he's going to be presenting on how to cut the cord. So getting rid of, ditching your cable service and what your options are. So that's going to be our next tech talk. And if you want to hear a topic, this is great. We make notes. We actually have planned out through April right now, so it might be a little bit, but please send the ideas coming because we want to talk about what you want us to talk about. So
next request is mail merges.
Oh, that's a good one-on-one. That's a really good one-on-one appointment. So let me write that down. So you keep an eye out for our tech appointments. They might be called tech time or tech one-on-one. I don't remember exactly where we landed with that, but that would be something that we would sit down with you for your specific question, because that may not be able to teach a class on that has broad appeal, but we definitely want to help you with that sort of thing. Did we get all the questions? I'm trying to write down the things we need to follow up on. Looks good. All right, well, thanks again, everyone, for joining us for our last virtual tech talk of 2020. We've had a great time with you today. Thanks so much for your questions and your ideas and your engagement. And we'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.